There comes a moment when your soul whispers loud enough to echo through your bones. A moment when your body starts speaking in headaches, fatigue, and tension. A moment when your heart pounds not from adrenaline, but from exhaustion. That moment, that's the moment when enough becomes too much. That's the quiet collapse before the breakdown. And most people miss it. You see, emotional overload doesn't kick the door down. It creeps in, slowly, silently, like a thief in the night. It doesn't always come in the form of tears or screaming fits. Sometimes it shows up in silence. A silence so deafening you forget what your own voice sounds like. You show up to work, to life, to responsibilities, but your soul stays behind. You laugh at jokes that don't reach your eyes. You smile because it's expected. But behind that smile is a storm. Let's get real. We glorify pushing through. We celebrate the grind. We preach hustle till your hands bleed. And in doing so, we ignore the body that's begging for rest. We ignore the mind that's screaming for stillness. We call it strength. But what is it really if it's killing you slowly? That's the twisted truth about emotional overload. It wears a mask. It shows up as productivity, as responsibility, as I'm fine. But underneath it is a war zone. Sleepless nights, endless pressure. The feeling that one more thing, just one more, will make the whole damn structure collapse. And let's talk about that breaking point. It doesn't always look like a dramatic meltdown. Sometimes it's forgetting what you walked into the room for. It's zoning out in conversations. It's snapping at people who didn't deserve it. It's crying at stoplights. It's staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., wondering how the hell you got here and why everything hurts. You know what the worst part is? We don't talk about it. We don't tell people when we're falling apart because we've been taught that vulnerability equals weakness, that saying I can't handle this is failure. But let me ask you something. Is it failure to feel? Is it failure to admit you've reached your limit? Or is it strength to know yourself well enough to say, this is too much and I need help? There's nothing noble about drowning in silence. There's nothing powerful about pretending you're unbreakable. You are human, and humans break, humans hurt, humans get tired, but humans also heal. And that healing begins the moment you stop lying to yourself. So let's call it what it is. Emotional overload is real, and it's more common than you think. You're not weak because you're overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed because you've been strong for too damn long. You've carried weights that weren't yours. You've said yes when your soul was screaming no. You've overcommitted, overgave, overloved, overfunctioned, until you became undernourished, underrested, undervalued. You don't just wake up one day empty. You get there drop by drop, giving too much and receiving too little. And the signs? They were always there. You just didn't want to believe them. Let's talk about those signs. You're always tired, not sleepy, soul tired. The kind of tired that sleep can't fix. You're irritable. Small things trigger big reactions. You feel numb, not sad, not angry, not happy, just nothing. You lose interest in things you used to love. You isolate yourself. Not because you want space, but because you feel like a burden. You cry for no reason, or you can't cry at all. You fantasize about escape, not death. Escape, running away, disappearing, just for a while. Sound familiar? Then maybe it's time to stop pretending, to stop carrying everything, to stop trying to be everything for everyone. Because when you're emotionally overloaded, your body becomes the battlefield. Anxiety, depression, digestive issues, headaches, weight gain, weight loss, insomnia. And we treat the symptoms, but we never address the root. And the root is this: you've ignored yourself for too long. You've betrayed your boundaries. You've silenced your truth. You've convinced yourself that you don't matter as much as your obligations. That everyone else's comfort is more important than your own peace. But here's the thing. You don't owe anyone your breakdown. You don't owe anyone your burnout. You don't owe anyone your silence. The only thing you owe is to yourself, to listen, to stop, to breathe, to feel, to heal. Let me tell you something raw, something real. You are not lazy. You are not dramatic. You are not crazy. You are overloaded. You are in need. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to step back. You are allowed to say, I can't carry this anymore. Because sometimes strength looks like surrender. Sometimes healing begins with honesty. So what do you do when enough is enough? You pause. You reassess. You let go of what's breaking you. You cancel the plans. You turn off your phone. You say no and mean it. You sit with yourself. You breathe. You cry if you need to. You scream if you have to. You write. You pray. You walk. You sit in silence and remember the sound of your own heartbeat. And then, slowly, you rise. Not because everything is fixed, but because you've decided that you matter, that your peace matters, that your energy is sacred, that you will no longer trade your sanity for validation. You begin to set boundaries, not walls, boundaries. You stop explaining your no's. You stop apologizing for needing space. You start checking in with yourself instead of checking off boxes. You relearn how to rest. Real rest, not escape, not numbing, but the kind of rest that fills your cup, not drains it. You start surrounding yourself with people who pour into you, who don't just take, but give, who ask, "How are you?" and really mean it. You learn to say, "This is heavy. I need help." You realize that healing isn't a destination. It's a daily decision. A decision to choose yourself, to choose peace, to choose truth over performance, and maybe most importantly, you forgive yourself. You forgive yourself for ignoring the signs. You forgive yourself for trying to be everything. You forgive yourself for breaking, because in that breaking, something sacred was revealed: your limit. And limits aren't weakness. They're wisdom, so let this be the moment. The moment you stop, the moment you breathe, the moment you listen, the moment you choose you, because you deserve more than survival. You deserve joy. You deserve rest. You deserve to exist in your life, not just endure it. When enough is enough, it's not the end. It's the beginning of a life that feels like truth, that feels like peace, that feels like you. And this time, you won't apologize for choosing it.